Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Metro Ford Cup Series brought to you by the Old Bastards Racing League. Today, we're at the virtual Watkins Glen for 60 laps of fun with all of these Cup drivers. The premier series here at the OBRL crew. Check them out if you want it on the action, oldbastardsracing.com. If you're 35 years or older and a clean racer and you enjoy having a great time with like-minded folks, this is the league for you. As always, thank you to Metro Ford for putting this show on. They've got used trucks all over the place. Patrick Milligan can get you financed, so check them out, Metro Ford. They are the title sponsor for this series, and we have a whole lot of fun as a single car qualifying is underway. They've got 10 minutes of qualifying. They've got 2 minutes of silence and discord so everybody can focus on what they're doing, hitting their marks, as it's guaranteed to be another great show tonight. 60 laps. We're looking for a one-stop race for a lot of the fast guys. Expecting to see maybe a two-stopper for guys that maybe use up just a little bit too much tire throughout the run. But it's going to be a good time. All of the OBRL races, they run these tracks as hot as they possibly can. The track temp as it stands right now, 116 degrees. It will only get hotter and a little bit slicker as these guys like driving around on the ragged edge of traction. As you're watching Crisco with a big moment coming up the hill through the S's. Crisco on number 28 machine with a hard hit. He's going to go back to the pit and restart his qualifying as he completely destroys the number 28 Ford Mustang. Speaking of brands, things are always shaking up with the manufacturer's points. Thank you to Copco as always for putting this together, giving these guys something to race with. You've got Toyota out in front, 850 points. You've got Chevy, second place in the Manufacturers Cup with 824 points. And then you've got Ford lagging a little bit behind with 761 points. So hoping to see the Ford guys out here today scoring some much-needed points to get themselves back in the mix. And guys, I'd like to thank everybody that tunes in from across the world. We were off last week for August 1st. It's good to be back in the booth with the Metro Ford Cup Series. I'm James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Always bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. And just a great time to be back here this Sunday morning for the Metro Ford Cup Series as we are at Watkins Glen International. Next week, we go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the IndyCar Oval, 100 laps. Then Michigan, then Daytona before we start our chase playoff. So a lot of action left in the series. But all these guys trying to get some last-minute points. They only have a few weeks to make it happen to get into the top 16 of points to make it into the playoff round. Right now, you've got Joshua Robinson. He's doing probably one of the fastest drivers out there all season long. He's currently first in points. You've got Dwayne MacArthur. He's 11 points back. Andrew Hess, third in points. Thomas Ogle with Team Miata. He's in fourth. Patrick Milligan, fifth in points. Steve the Mule Thompson, sixth. Al Turner, seventh. Gary Kipfer, eighth. Hoskins, ninth. Pischke, 10th. Scales, 11th. Lynch, 12th. Kopko, 13th. Kel Butler is 14th in points. Travis Rogers, 15th. Greg McDaniel, he is on the bubble with 16th in points. So a lot of races left in the action. Everyone trying to squeeze down a little bit better race results as the runs develop and just trying to get themselves comfortably into the chase playoffs. Everyone vying for that top spot. And it's always a lot of great racers and a lot of fantastic looking race cars. As you're watching Hoskins, the number 66 machine, that bright green and yellow, the AARP of Act number 66, going out for his qualifying run. Right now it's Steve the Mule Thompson on top of the board with a 1 minute 15.46, just barely edging out Dwayne MacArthur's 1 minute 15.5. Hoskins going to bring it into pit lane. He's had enough. Watching Patrick Milligan, number 18, Interstate-sponsored Ford Mustang, gets a little bit of shimmy coming out of turn 7. Let's see what he can do down the start-finish line straight. And he does best his previous best of a 1:16. He drops a 1 minute 14.99, but look at Steve the Mule Thompson just getting faster. He clicks off a 1 minute 14.98. So a lot of very talented race car drivers out here today. We're going to check on Tom Ogle and the bright pink White Claw-sponsored Toyota. Now this has the potential to be a very interesting race, especially as drivers come out after qualifying on cold tires to make their way through the racetrack for the first time at speed. Not a lot of room to have incidents here at Watkins Glen. If you find yourself in an off-track moment, maybe going up through the S's or into the bus stop, you can very quickly block the entire racetrack. As Ogle gets a little bit of a shimmy and a wiggle coming out of 7 down the start-finish line straight. Let's see what he can click off. Ogle, he drops a 1 minute 14.94. These guys are absolutely hauling the mail, getting faster and faster. Your top 3 drivers are in the 1:14s. MacArthur, our favorite fast Canadian, he's in 4th on the board with a 1 minute 15.5. But let's see, can Tom Ogle best his lap time? He's got another lap to do it. Now, road courses are a bit funny. Sometimes you'll see guys put down their fastest lap on their first time lap as opposed to the oval racing we cover, where normally it is the second timed lap that everybody's able to go just a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. So let's keep an eye on Tom Ogle. You got a lot of the usual suspects in the top 10. A little bit lighter field than we've seen in the past, about 22 drivers making it out. And you'll see a few cars not qualifying. That'll be Roger Runyon Sr. and Randy Bott, both running triple-digit numbers, signifying they are a rookie here at the OBRL Racing League. Rookies cannot qualify. They must start at the back before going out. And I believe they've got to complete about 6 races before they're full-fledged members. Gives everybody time to see how the racing's going to shape up. And let's see what Ogle can click off here. He just gets faster and faster. The man in pink, the number 11 Toyota, gets down to a 1 minute 14.63. Absolutely on fire. Josh Robinson, number 23. He's been one of the guys to beat all season long in the Micro Center painted Toyota Camry. He's about to cross for his first time lap. And Robinson puts it on top of provisional pole, a 1 minute 14.11. These guys are absolutely hauling the mail early on today. Puts it on top of Let's see what Robinson can do his second time by. He's already put it on top of provisional pole. There's only one other car on the racetrack right now. That's Scales, the number 8 machine, out there charging hard. So Robinson knows at this point, hey, I don't have to push too hard. I've bested most of the racer's time. There's only one other driver that has the potential to knock me off that top spot, which is Scales. And they've only got less than a minute left in qualifying. Scales drops a 1 minute 16.13, pushing his way up to 8th place. And Robinson really trying to put the power down in that Toyota Camry. Let's see what he does his last time by. A 1:15.61, so unable to best his previous lap time. So that should be the standing order as we're watching Scales out there in the number 8. He did a 1:16.13 his last time by. Not sure if he'll be able to best that at all. And that is going to wrap up qualifying. And we're getting ready to send these drivers out for our feature event. This will be a good time for everybody. Up front, you've got Josh Robinson and the number 23 machine with a great qualifying time. Tom Ogle will be starting 2nd. Andrew Hess starting 3rd. Thompson 4th. Milligan will be 5th on the grid. MacArthur will be starting 6th. Greg McDaniel will be starting 7th. Chris Sidner will be starting 8th. Scales starting 19th. Turner starting 10th tonight. Mike Schrader will be starting 11th. Brian Lynch 12th. Then you've got Gary Kipper starting 13th, Lee Warsdale starting 14th, Hoskins in the number 66 machine will be starting 15th, Bott will be starting 16th, Runyon will be starting 17th, Eberhardt 18th. You've got Crisco starting number in the 19th spot on the grid. John Hastings will be starting 20th, Hendry Besaw 21st. Then you've got Dean Greer rounding out our pretty good-sized field. 22 drivers making it out today. And let's see what's going to happen. The road courses are always exciting to watch, as a lot of the drivers are not self-proclaimed road race experts as much as they are oval extraordinaires. It is a 60-lap race here today. They'll be following that iRacing pace car, that Ford Mustang, through the racetrack, giving them the opportunity of one final sighting lap for all of our competitors. And again, a major thanks to Metro Ford, emetroford.com, for sponsoring this series, putting on. They've got the best selection of trucks in the country right now. They will get you financed, so if you're looking for something new, used, Milligan will help you get the financing you need to get out there in your new truck. And these guys, I've got to say, take very good care of their racers here for the OBRL series. So great to see racers supporting racers and doing the same in kind, helping them out. So Metro Ford sponsors this series, and then a lot of guys been helping out eMetro Ford by purchasing their newest trucks from those guys. Now the S's in the bus stop have some great opportunity here today to see some spectacular crashes, especially on cold tires. Points of interest, we've seen other drivers do a little bit of bump and runs, was through the carousel where the driver's in right now. And then 6 and 7, the final left-hander and right-hander before the start-finish line straight. These cars are so powerful, and it is so exciting to watch the racing here at Watkins Glen. So it's going to be 60 laps of great, great racing. Expecting to see the fuel window between lap 30 and 35 for these competitors before they absolutely have to come in. It's going to be Tom Ogle, Josh Robinson out front. Two Team Miata drivers out there representing the team very, very well. Pace car will be coming in. Then we're going to send them on their way. Green flag is dropped. It's Josh Robinson looking at the inside. He's followed by Tom Ogle. Robinson gets a little bit too much curve action going on there. And let's see how's everyone going to behave going up through the S's here. A very, very dangerous spot, not to be single file. As these cars put out so much traction on, or power on cold tires, it's easy to break traction, especially around this sweeping right-hander. Before they all dive into the bus stop together, you're watching Andrew Hess, number 54, the Chevrolet. He's going to be wicking it up in there, following the two Team Miata drivers and their Toyota Camrys. Looks like we're getting through the bus stop relatively cleanly. As these guys always put on some of the cleanest racing you can find on iRacing. They have a maximum incident per lap limit they expect out of their racers. So clean driving is the focus here for the Metro Ford Cup Series. Every Sunday morning, we're covering all of their season live. And it's always a great time watching some good racers. You get to see some good green flag lap strategizing come about. As it looks like the field's broken down single file here and everybody behaving very, very nicely. You're watching one of the rookies, Roger Runyon Sr., the number 110 machine. He has dropped down 3 spots into the 20th position. The 110 Hoosier backed car doing a great job. You got Robert Crisco making his way up. Michael Everhart currently 18th. And let's check on our other rookie, Randy Bott, the number 169 in the Ford Mustang. He's chasing down Gary Kipper in his 68 machine. So great to see the rookies out here clicking off some laps, getting more and more comfortable. And we do have an incident. One of our rookies, Roger Runyon Sr., goes off track, able to keep it a single car incident, no harm, no foul, struggling to find his way back on the racetrack, but hey, that's what we're here for. Everybody's trying to develop their racecraft just a little bit better as Runyon will get back out on track and start clicking off laps. Out front, you still have Josh Robinson, Tom Ogle, Andrew Hess, Steve the Mule Thompson, Dwayne MacArthur. He's up 1 spot into that 5th place spot, getting around Patrick Milligan as Robinson clicks off the fastest lap of the race on 1 minute 14.78. I'm not sure if he's going to consider tire wear at all in this run or just keep the loud pedal mashed down to the floor and knock off some really good laps here. Robinson doing a great job out front. He's got about a 0.6 advantage to 2nd place Tom Ogle. And it's going to be a game of tire wear, I think, here. We talked to some of the drivers in their haulers before today's main event, and they're saying, you know what, it's kind of easy to cook off a tire. If you find yourself spinning those back tires too much, you can really, really burn off those Goodyears a little bit early than expected. So with this hot track surface and long format race, you've got to keep those tires underneath you, play it safe, and not push too hard too early. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see 2nd through 5th, Ogle, Hess, Thompson, MacArthur, trying to keep those tires underneath them to make it a one-stop race and just wearing the tires all the way out. Or if we're going to see some of these guys maybe push really hard really early, as we're watching Josh Robinson do in the number 23 machine, and maybe make it a 2-stop race. Now each stop takes about 48 to 50 seconds if you take 4 fresh tires and a full tank of gas. So that is a long, long time to make it a 2-stop race. The 1-stop will definitely be the fastest if you can keep that average lap time relatively smooth and consistent. As now you see Tom Ogle, Andrew Hess, Mule, Steve Thompson, MacArthur all getting into 14-second lap times. And look at this, Steve Thompson, he's looking to get around Andrew Hess. He takes a peek to the outside of the number 54 Chevrolet, and he's trying to see where can I put my 67 Toyota in the mix to try and make it 1, 2, 3 for Toyota early on in the race. Robinson with a 1 minute 14.65, setting another fastest lap for the race, just getting faster and faster out here. We got a little bit of action going on for 15th and 16th. As Randy Bott, he is trying to get around John Hastings, number 32 machine, Everhart right in tow as well. So now Bott, number 169, he's trying to catch the number 32 of John Hastings. A lot of very talented racers out here today. All of these guys very, very good at what they do. As John Hastings, number 32 machine, he is up 6 spots so far in that Tide sponsored Chevrolet. In front of him, he's got Gary Kipper, the number 68 in his sights. But right now, John Hastings, our hardest charger on track, moving up 6 positions so far early on into the race. His last time by on 1 minute 16.8, so just cut through traffic, being very, very safe about it. Now Andrew Hess starting to put a little bit of pressure on Tom Ogle. That's going to be the battle for second on track right now. Less than half a second separates these two drivers. And Steve Thompson, number 67, he's going to watch this battle for second very, very carefully, as he knows, hey, just one mistake and I can find myself in third, if not second. We're about 10% of the way through the race, clicking off lap 60 of 60. These guys are going to start falling off a little bit with tires as the run develops, especially with this hot racetrack, as Josh Robinson has quite the lead over a second and a half to second place Tom Ogle, who is starting to get pressured by Andrew Hess. Both of those guys put out very, very close lap times last time by. As these cars start going through that traction, really burning off those Goodyears, they can be quite a handful, especially in these fast little straightaway sections here at Watkins Glen. The S's, you kind of unload the weight off your car coming up the hill, taking that left and right hand switchback section, and it can make things quite exciting, as drivers are going to have to be very, very mindful of their throttle to keep as much power as they can down without breaking traction and finding himself in the mess. If there's any crashes in the S's, it effectively blocks the entire raceway at Watkins Glen, and it can quickly turn into a parking lot. But so far, so good. We've had a couple of single car incidents where they run off the track, but no harm, no foul. Everybody able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Brian Lynch making moves through the field in the number 15 machine, getting around Scales. Currently, Lynch is in 11th place, up one spot. All these guys having to be very, very mindful where they make any passes here at Watkins Glen. The track is so tight for a NASCAR Cup car. And when everyone's running such close speeds, it's very, very difficult to make a clean pass without possibly risking your race car's damage or your competitors around you. Nothing but respect out of all these drivers. They run multiple series throughout the week. Trucks, Xfinity, ARCA, and the Cup cars on Sunday morning. So that's 4 races a week if some guys decide to run them all. And even when they're not running race laps, they're out here every off night. They've got a practice session. Drivers working together to get faster and faster. A very cool experience and environment here for the OBRL guys. We're going to take you on board with Patrick Milligan, the number 18 machine. Milligan currently running 6th tonight, and he's down one spot from where he originally started. He's about 5 seconds back from Dwayne MacArthur in 5th, and he's about 2.3 seconds ahead of Greg McDaniel, the number 30 machine, currently running 7th. So Milligan running out here all by his lonesome, just clicking off laps, but having a great time while he does so, and not having any problems, keeping it nice and clean and green so far here today. John Hastings, the number 32 machine, he is in 15th place. Had a bit of a scare there where he had an off track. He was catch up to Randy Bott in the number 169, but that's going to allow Michael Everhart, the number 17 machine, old titanium as they call him, get an opportunity to catch up, as John Hastings is going to get around Randy Bott, who looked to take a wide line in turn 1. Here comes Everhart as well, trying to capitalize. Everhart also moving up a spot. That's going to put Randy Bott, the rookie, back to his original starting place in 16th spot. But hey, great job out of all these guys. This is quite the race to make a first impression. Come out on a very slippery road course and try and show your muster in front of the OBRL racing family. So Everhart, number 17, going to do his best to catch John Hastings, number 32 machine. Doing his best to get up into the mix of it here today. Everhart, he's got 21 starts so far this season, 7 DNFs and 7 top 10s. He's still searching for that top 5, but all of these guys, when you're surrounding yourself with such talented racers, being able to get that top 10, that top 15, or even a season best for yourself is an accomplishment. A lot of these guys are very, very fast. With the focus being on clean racing, some of these guys are just happy to be out here, part of the show, and surround themselves with like-minded racers that just want to drive clean and fast all night long. So well done to Everhart out there charging hard. Getting quicker and quicker as the season progresses, as he's getting closer and closer to John Hastings, number 32 machine. Let's see what's going to happen here going into the bus stop. And it seems like Everhart was very, very fast coming out of turn 1. That turn 1 is so crucial. It allows you to carry so much speed all the way to the backstretch into the S's. And then finally the bus stop. If you can carry a lot of speed through the S's, you can go in a lot faster into the bus stop before you have to really woe that car up to get through the bus stop into the carousel. As you watch Everhart kind of fade back just a little bit as Hastings seems to have the faster line coming out of the bus stop into the carousel into 6 and 7. Good racing all across the racetrack. You still have Steve Thompson pressuring Andrew Hess, number 54 machine. Now is a battle for third. Hess has fallen back from Ogle just by a little bit here. And these guys are going to be happy just clicking off laps. Always good to see our fans from across the country tuning in, cheering us on. We see Andrew Neary out on the with the spectators cheering us on. Mark Proctor also cheering us on, catching some good racing on a Sunday morning. And some of the best green flag runs here at Watkins Glen, as everybody's kept it very, very clean. We've had a couple of off tracks, but no big incidents thus far. Steve Thompson still trying to catch up to Andrew Hess, seeing when and where he's going to make a pass happen. As Thompson, he wants to make it a sweep, a perfect sweep for Team Toyota, the Manufacturers Cup. Right now, you've got Andrew Hess, the lone Chevrolet, currently in 3rd place. Then you have to go back to 6th place, Patrick Milligan, to find your first Ford. As it is a whole lot of Toyota in the top spots right now. All these guys doing a fantastic job. Josh Robinson's out front, Tom Ogle 2nd, Andrew Hess 3rd, Steve Thompson 4th, and Dwayne MacArthur will make up our top 5. We are about halfway through our estimated pit window. Again, we think these guys are going to come in between lap 30 and 35 to make it a one-stop race. If I was a betting man, and I am, I think you'll see the guys try and stretch it out just a little bit, make it as long of a run as they possibly can. That way they've got the least amount of laps left at the end of the run to really hot lap and click off some great times. Steve Thompson still looking to make something happen against Hess. I'm not sure when or where we're going to make it happen. As that really shows how much wheel and throttle work Thompson is having to do to keep that Cup car pointed the right direction, keep the power down. It is so treacherous there. If you give it just a little bit too much throttle, you can rapidly find yourself spinning around and having an incident. Here comes Thompson on the inside of Hess. They're going to go side by side in the carousel. Thompson's going to have the run going into turn 6, but is Hess going to answer the inside line? It looks like Hess is going to follow back in tow here and keep it safe and clean. So Hess is going to yield that 3rd place spot. Thompson's going to move up to 3rd. Right now it is Toyota 1, 2, and 3 with Robinson, Ogle, and Thompson up in the mix. Tom Ogle, Josh Robinson kind of in a league of their own here. They have stretched that gap from Steve Thompson anywhere between 2.5 seconds to Ogle to 5 seconds for race leader Josh Robinson. Now we're going to take it back to Mike Schrader in the number 4 machine, that baby blue car. He's in the Ford Mustang. He's chasing Chris Snyder, the number 29 machine. This can be the battle for 8th on screen right now. As you see a little bit of puff of smoke as some of the guys having to use more brakes than they expected to. It looks like Sidner is not going to have the run he wanted. So let's see if Mike Schrader can capitalize going through the S's down the little backstretch here at Watkins Glen into the bus stop. That turn 1 is so crucial. That is where you can really make up a lot of time and get your momentum started for this straightaway before going to the bus stop. You're watching Schrader and the number 4 machine trying to pressure Sidner and the number 29. 2 Fords battling out in the top 10 spot. And here comes Al Turner, the number 76 machine as well. He's watching these 2 Fords battle out saying, hey, I want in the mix of this. Schrader finds himself about a half second back from Sidner at this point in the race. Still about 15 laps to go before we expect maybe our first pit stops of the night. Schrader currently 19th in points. He's had 18 laps. He's had a rough season so far with 7 DNFs. He was able to bring home the win, though, at Talladega early on in the season. And the last time we saw him on the podium, I believe... no, we misread that. No, that is correct. He finished first at Talladega. And that was the last time we have seen him on the podium. His last top 5 was at Charlotte, where he was able to finish 5th after starting 16th. So always great to see Schrader up here running strong, clicking off laps. Al Turner, he's trying to get his number 76 machine in the mix as well. Turner currently 10th on track. He's watching 9th and 8th battle in front of him. Just doing his best to catch up and make something happen. Planning for the long run, keeping those tires underneath him. But here comes Schrader. They're going to go side by side going into 6th. Sidner throws a bit of a little block, but here comes Schrader. He's going to get around nice and safe so far. Al Turner, he wants to capitalize as well. Al Turner's going to capitalize, so Sidner's going to move back to 2 spots into the 10th place spot. Now expect to see if Al Turner can put a little bit of pressure on Schrader going into turn 1. As they are starting to mix it up as the tire wear coming into effect. It's going to be a game of who saved a little bit of traction better than the cars in front of them. Looks like Schrader, who is up 3 spots, having a little bit of chance to breathe here, getting a little bit faster as the run progresses. But look at this. Tom Ogle has a big moment. Your second place runner, Tom Ogle, number 11 machine. He's going to go off track into 6 before the final right-hander is 7. That's going to allow Steve Thompson, Andrew Hess to rapidly catch up to the number 11, the bright pink White Claw race car. So just like that, Tom Ogle is going to have a bit of company from both Thompson and Hess running 3rd and 4th themselves. The top 3, the podium, all but decided here today as it is a long race. Can Tom Ogle collect himself and get back focused in the number 11 machine to start clicking off laps and maybe extend that gap over Steve Thompson? Or is Thompson, with a bit of a bright pink carrot to chase, going to be able to make something happen and maybe find a little bit more time? Steve Thompson's going to mash that loud pedal. I believe Thompson's been driving for fuel savings so far here today. Fuel and tire saving. Tire saving is probably the most important thing, more so than fuel, as these guys are all searching for that lowest average lap time as opposed to a couple fast laps. Tom Ogle able to collect himself, get through that last lap a little bit more clear-headed after that off-track into turn 6, able to collect himself and get back out there. Let's see what Ogle can do this time by with the lap times reflect. As Josh Robinson has slowed down quite a bit. He's doing a 1:17 his last time by compared to his best, a 1:14. as Tom Ogle, Thompson, Hess are all in the 116s, running very, very close to each other here. Ogle catching lap traffic. That's going to be Hoskins' number 66 machine. Not an easy track to make passing. You expect to see Hoskins to go wide into the carousel here to allow your race leaders second through fourth to make their way by, as Hoskins will yield the line going out of the carousel. They're going to be side by side going down the backstretch into turn 6. And Hoskins is going to drop out of line ever so slightly, allowing Ogle and Thompson to get clear going into 6 and 7. Nothing but professionalism here from all of the drivers. Everyone out there running their own race, just trying to click off laps and maybe set some personal best on their mix. As you can see, Ogle and Thompson both have a bit of a shimmy coming out of 7 down the backstretch. They're both going to have that bit of a bobble. Josh Robinson, your race leader, he's about 5.2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Tom Ogle, Steve Thompson glued together outside the right side of your screen. You've also got Andrew Hess trying to get up there in the mix as well. Look at this heavy battle as Tom Ogle's going to be the first car really having to cut through traffic. You have Josh Robinson pretty far ahead, who's going to be the first car to cut through lap traffic. Now what that allows is a little bit easier time for Ogle, Thompson, Hess, and MacArthur, as now traffic is aware, hey, the leaders are coming by, they're blistering fast. Let's keep an eye at that rear view mirror and see where they're going to come from. And lap traffic is going to be kind of a game for all these guys. It's going to be who can navigate the quickest. As Sidner, he has a big off-track moment, number 29 machine. Let's grab a quick replay here. So Sidner, the number 29 machine, goes off in turn 6, able to collect himself, get pointed back the right direction. No harm, no foul in 6. We're going to go back up front. Seem to have something going on with our overlay here. Let's see if we can get that corrected for you. Bear with us as we get live timing pulled back up. All these guys doing a great job running around out there. So far, no big problems. Lee Warsdale is going to bring it into pit lane. Tom Ogle still running strong out front. And all these guys put on a great show here today. Everybody playing it very, very safe, having no worries or problems. Not quite sure where our overlays went here today. That's a very odd problem. Hang with us 1 second. We're going to keep the camera pointed at Josh Robinson, Tom Ogle, currently running second place while we try and get live timing back online. Still up front, you got Josh Robinson, Tom Ogle, Steve Thompson, Andrew Hess, Dwayne MacArthur make up our top 5 as all these guys put on quite a clinic. Nobody in the, looks like really not many people have pitted yet, as the top 15 in the field still out there charging hard, making something happen. There we go, getting it fixed for everybody. So you're watching Greg McDaniel, the number 30 machine, currently running 7th place, doing a fantastic job out there tonight. But up front, it's all about Josh Robinson in the number 23 machine. He's chased by Tom Ogle, Steve Thompson, Andrew Hess, Dwayne MacArthur. All of these guys clicking off laps, making it happen. And so far, some great, clean racing from all of our competitors here today. Going to be interesting to see when we see these drivers come in. We're expecting the fuel window to be around lap 30 to 35, but who's going to stretch it out the longest here? As Dwayne MacArthur, he's up 1 spot, making his way into the top 5 in his Chevrolet. Right now, it is Toyota out front running 1, 2, 3. You've got Chevrolet running 4th and 5th. And then 6th place is held by Patrick Milligan in the Ford Mustang out there representing well. Still have some great passing going on as you've got Kipper making a move. Kipper, the number 68 machine, he's up 3 spots into 10th. He has just gotten around Michael Everhart and Chris Sinner that have been battling very, very hard. Kind of a 3-way battle here. As look at that, Kipper runs it in very, very deep into turn 1. That's going to allow Everhart to get through, as well as the number 29 of Chris Sinner. So this is quite the battle among these drivers. Everhart, who did have an EOL going in tonight's race, making the best out of it and charging hard. But look at this. Kipfer keeping the pressure on. And these guys are putting on quite the show. You're watching Kipfer, the number 68 machine. He's chasing down Sidner and the number 28, the 29, the Ford Mustang. And they are all challenging Everhart, who's really found some speed here today. Look at Everhart going, the number 17 machine, really clicking off some laps here, getting faster and faster. One of the best races we've seen so far from old Titanium and the number 17 car so far this season, as he's currently in the lead. Chris Sinner, Gary Kipfer, and now John Hastings, he's in the mix as well in the 32 machine. He gets around Kipfer. They're going to go back and forth. Oh, a big moment, able to hold on to it, coming out of turn one. But that's going to really hurt his drive through the S's, and then down the straightaway to the bus stop. Man, what great racing from these guys. They're battling older, worn-out tires at this point in the run, so it's a very, very careful game. All the guys, a little bit of a lockup there from 32, but all these guys trying to put down the best times they can to catch the guys in front of them. But you watch there, Hastings with a big moment in the bus stop, really had to slow up. You got Brian Litch, 13. He's chasing Gary Kipfer, the number 68 machine. A lot of great racing here tonight. A little bit further back in the field, you've got Randy Bott in the 169 machine. He's catching the other triple-digit racer, Roger Runyon Sr. That'll be the battle for 17th spot among the two rookies here today as they dive into the bus stop together. About 3 car lengths separates the two triple-digit drivers. But doing a great job out here with their first showing for the OBRL guys. But, man, I can't talk about Michael Everhart, number 17 machine, enough. He's up 8 spots. He started 18th. He's currently made his way up into 10th and put on quite a show here today. As Everhart seems very comfortable at these road courses, able to click off some laps, gain a whole lot of positions, and doing so safely. He finds himself about 2.5 seconds back from Scales and the number 8 machine. Now Everhart's last time by a 1 minute 18.25 compared to Scales with a 1 minute 18.5. So Everhart really setting into a groove here, clicking off some laps, making it happen. Are we going to see Everhart start catching up to the rest of the field? He's got Scales in front of him, still about a 2.7 second disadvantage to the 9th place driver, but Everhart is inside the top 10. He's got to be feeling great right now and just making dreams happen, because behind him they're still battling hard. It's Sidner, Kipfer, Lynch, all battling for that 11th place spot. It's who's going to give, who's going to take. As you're watching Kipfer, number 68, Reese's backed race car make his way through the S's down the back stretch. Great racing all across the racetrack here tonight. Now we're going to cycle back up front to Josh Robinson, number 23. He's making his way through lap traffic, having no issues so far before he goes into the bus stop. Robinson's last time by a 1 minute 17.31 compared to second place Ogle, 1 minute 17.33. So these guys are running about the same pace now. Robinson has a comfortable lead, doesn't have to push too hard. So he's going to try and keep those tires underneath them to try and stretch out this pit stop as long as he can. As you see Tom Ogle in the background, that bright pink. You've got Crisco lap traffic in between the two drivers. Crisco currently running 16th on track. He's up 3 spots from where he started. They're still making progress. You see some guys start to initiate their pit cycle. You've got Kipper, Hastings, Robinson, and race leader Josh Robinson. He's going to come into pit lane. Let's keep an eye on Robinson on the left side of your screen there. Does he take 4 tires, or did he just go for a splash of fuel to get back out there? So at pit lane, you've got Robinson, Thompson coming in as well. Kipfer, Hastings, all on pit lane. Let's keep an eye out. Left side goes up, then we're going to expect to see the right side to go up as well. So that'll put Tom Ogle, your new race leader, out front. What type of gap is he going to have over Josh Robinson once he makes his way out of pit lane? It looks like Robinson's going to find himself about 30 seconds back from race leader Tom Ogle. As Steve Thompson leaves his pit stall, Al Turner goes in as well. So now Tom Ogle, the bright pink number 11 White Claw Racing Toyota Camry, will get a lap led here at Watkins Glen, unless he comes in this lap. Now, we talked to some of the drivers, and there is the opportunity for some of these guys to stretch it out to lap 35. As that is not going to be what Ogle does. He comes in on lap 30. Let's see, does Andrew Hess come in as well? No, Hess stays out in the number 54 machine. He's going to try and get a lap led. So are these competitors going to be able to put enough time down to give themselves a comfortable gap to Josh Robinson? Robinson's going to be coming out on very fresh race cars. These guys behind him knowing, hey, we want the freshest tires we can possibly get underneath us, as Ress is going to navigate lap traffic. That is going to be number 76, I believe, of Al Turner, who will go a lap down once he yields the position. So a lot of things getting shaken up here late mid-run of the race. We've got 29 laps left to go. Still not quite sure how this is going to pan out, as Robinson has a lot of traffic to work through. He's about 20 seconds back from race leader Andrew Hess. But Hess, MacArthur, and Milligan have yet to pit. So they're going to try and draw it out a little bit later if possible. That way they can have very fresh rubber underneath them and just try and hot lap the remaining races, the laps in the race. All these guys doing a fantastic job clicking off laps. We haven't had that many crashes here today. As Andrew Hess is clicking off laps, his last time by was a 1 minute 18.85 compared to his race best, a 1 minute 14.96. So we know the driver of the 54 has the ability to hot lap, but when he finally comes in, will he have enough laps? Because Josh Robinson should still be out front after these top 3 drivers take their pit stall. Robinson charging hard. He did a 1 minute 16 his last time by, anywhere between 1.25 seconds to 2.8 seconds faster than our top 3 drivers right now, who are still on that original set of tires. But Hess is going to run it out even further as the Hess Gas sponsored race machine. He's got about an 8.5 second lead over second place Dwayne MacArthur, who is coming into pit lane now. Let's see if Patrick Milligan, currently 3rd on the board, will do the same, as Brian Lynch, he has an off-track moment. Brian Lynch able to get back out on track and do so safely. Letting those lead car guys get around first. But right now, Andrew Hess still out there just clicking off laps. You've got about 10 drivers still on the lead lap as pit cycles are going. Patrick Milligan also in his pit stall. He'll be taking 4 fresh Goodyears and a tank of gas. So it looks to me like Andrew Hess and Robert Crisco currently running 9th right now, the only 2 drivers that have not come into pit lane yet. As Hess charging hard through the carousel, still just expertly navigating lap traffic, taking it easy, no big rush here, not wanting to damage his race car, making any sort of gutsy moves. Josh Robinson, he's moved up to second after Ogle and, MacArthur and Milligan have taken their late pit stops. So Andrew Hess, your race leader, he's going to come into pit lane now. And that should allow Josh Robinson to take over the race lead late in the race. We're on lap 33. Robinson's about to click off lap 34. So 26 laps left in today's feature event. How is this going to shake up at the end? Will Josh Robinson have enough traction left in reserve to hold off these other drivers if they are able to get out there and start pressuring them? Tom Ogle, he's only about 3.3 seconds back from the race leader, Josh Robinson. 6.7 seconds back. So Ogle came in on lap 30, Robinson came in on lap 29. Now you've got Andrew Hess with the latest pit stop of the race on lap 34. Will Hess be able to come out there in the number 54 machine and hot lap and use all that rubber available to him? That's going to be quite interesting as Tom Ogle taking a little bit of a bumpy ride through the bus stop here at Watkins Glen. It's going to be 25 laps to go once Robinson and Ogle cross the line. We'll check on Robinson out front in the number 23 machine, driving very, very well, very, very consistent so far here today. The Micro Center back Toyota Camry doing a great job making it look easy. It'll be 25 laps to go once he crosses the line. We're going to pull up that NASCAR timing tower for you to see how your favorite drivers are doing out on track right now. As you have 11 drivers that started out of the 22 on the lead lap. You've had 2 drivers park it for the night. That's going to be Mike Schrader in the number 4 and Dean Greer showing as a DNS tonight. We still have 2 drivers that have not pitted that we didn't realize. Lee Warsdale and Hoskins, the number 66 machine, both have not pitted yet. Michael Everhart appears not to have pitted as well, so going for quite the overcut strategy so that way he can come out on the freshest tires available. Robinson getting through traffic nice and easy. That's Gary Kipper, the number 68, giving him plenty of room to get by. Michael Everhart, number 17 machine, is going to finally bring it into pit lane for the first time here today. 26 laps left to go for the main event. Can Ogle, Thompson, Hess catch up to Josh Robinson, who has quite the comfortable lead? Ogle finds himself about 5.6 seconds back in second place. Steve the Mule Thompson, he's about 8 seconds back in third. You've got Andrew Hess with the latest pit stop of the race coming on lap 33. He's about 21 seconds back from your race leader. But he's going to be charging hard and hot lapping very, very hard. In theory, if he can keep the current pace that he has compared to Josh Robinson, he should be able to catch up with laps remaining. But it's going to be a game of tire wear as both these competitors are going to get slower and slower as the run progresses and the tires start to fall off. Steve Thompson, last ditch racing. He's got lap traffic to contend with as well, trying to catch up to those lead pack cars. He's looking good for a podium. He's got about a 13-second advantage over fourth place Andrew Hess. All these guys doing a fantastic job out here today, clicking off some good, clean laps, not having many issues out here today. I think we saw one crash on live time and scoring, and the driver quickly took a tow to pit lane. As Steve Thompson is trying to whittle away that gap to Tom Ogle. His last time by, he was about a second slower than second place Ogle, but lap traffic has been quite a factor here today. All these guys doing their best to allow lead cars by, but there's just not a lot of racetrack and good opportunities. If you find yourself bunched up, maybe going into the bus stop or the carousel, it's very, very hard to carry that momentum you need to get back out front. As you see Thompson clicking him off. Andrew Hess, though, he has just laid down the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 14.63. So he is a man on a mission. He is getting faster and faster, but how much tire will he have left at the end of the run to catch up to our top three drivers, Thompson, Ogle, and Robinson? You see Kipfer, number 68, giving the spot to Thompson, allowing him to go by through turn 7, down the start-finish line straight. Tom Ogle, currently second place in the number 11 machine. He's 5.5 seconds back from race leader Josh Robinson. He is only 3.5 seconds ahead of third place Steve Thompson. Thompson going to be driving very, very hard here today. As these guys putting on quite a show here. 23 laps left to go in the main event. It's Robinson out front, Ogle second, Thompson third, Hess fourth, MacArthur fifth. A lot of great racing from all of these competitors. I'm not sure how it's going to shake down on tire strategy as we get ready to click off the final laps here. It appears Ogle may be gaining a little bit of time as maybe Robinson's going to be dealing with lap traffic ahead of him. And that is absolutely what's happening. Robinson able to get around lap traffic. I believe that might be Scales, the number 8 machine. It is following race leader Robinson into turn 1 at Watkins Glen. So Tom Ogle is going to do his best to try and capitalize on that. He gained about half a second just that last lap. It's going to be a game of keeping the tire wear underneath you and navigating lap traffic the best. That's going to really decide the top 3 here tonight. Tom Ogle has a good opportunity. He's got plenty of laps left to try and get up. They both Robinson and Ogle both clicked off 1 minute 15s their last lap by, as well as Steve Thompson. So everybody in the top 4 clicking off 1 minute 15s. With 22 laps to go, who's going to be in the best position to make something happen? Andrew Hess, we saw him with a late pit stop on lap 33 in the number 54 machine. He's still about 20 seconds back from your race leader, Josh Robinson. Just not sure if he's going to have enough time to use those fresh tires to his advantage. He came in 4 laps later than Robinson, which at Watkins Glen, with the tire wear we've been seeing from these drivers with this hot track, is very, very late into a run. On a lap 15, 15 laps into a set of tires is when we start seeing the times really fall off. Hoskin comes out of pit lane with a very, very late pit stop here today. Robinson making it look easy out front. You see at the top of your screen, that's Tom Ogle on the bright pink machine. That's the second place driver on track. That's what 4.5 seconds looks like here at the start-finish line straight at Watkins Glen. As Robinson's going to have more traffic to contend with, but he knows Ogle has to deal with the same stuff behind him. Let's see, we're going to see Robinson try and make a pass here and try and get through nice and clean. as this can get quite hairy for the leaders. They absolutely do not want to make any mistakes, and they've also got to count on their competition around them not to make any mistakes as well, to keep it under control and not have any problems. Let's check on Tom Ogle in second place, number 11 machine, getting through lap traffic. Everybody yielding the preferred line if at all possible. Tom Ogle, he still has a 4.3 second disadvantage to Josh Robinson and at least one more lap car in between them. 20 laps left to go for the race. I'm not sure what we're going to see happen here. If we're going to see any late moves late in the race, or if we might see everybody kind of settle down and just start clicking off laps, keeping the tires underneath them. We'll look at the lap times as they come by. As Robinson does a 1:16 flat his last time by. Let's see what Ogle registers as. A 1:16.04 compared to Robinson's 1:16.05. So both these top two drivers clicking off almost identical lap times here today. As well as Steve Thompson, he clicks off a 1:16.06. So all the top three drivers are within 0.02 of a second on lap time. Looks like everybody's found a groove and they're just clicking them off here. It's 19 laps left to go here at Watkins Glen for the Metro Ford Cup Series. Now let's take an onboard. Once Robinson gets to the start-finish line, we'll take an onboard and show what it's like to get around this racetrack at such a high rate of speed with these talented drivers. I mean, these guys put on a great show. We've got a lot of guys been making moves. Everhart, he's moved up 8 spots. John Hastings, our current hard charger, he's up 9 spots into 11th. So a lot of guys able to put down great lap times and start charging through the field. But let's take an onboard with Josh Robinson for a lap here at Watkins Glen. And that was a lap with your race leader, Josh Robinson. That is what a 1-minute 15-second lap time looks like here at the Watkins Glen. You can really listen to how easy he's been on that throttle, trying to keep that tire chirping to an absolute minimum. And these guys putting on a great performance here today. Such a tough track to go fast on. These guys have been doing it all night long, having no worries so far here today. 17 laps left in the main event. Looks like Robinson able to extend that lead over Tom Ogle just a little bit further. Is now a 5-second gap between the two drivers. Ogle looking very comfortably in second place. He's got a 7-second advantage over Steve the Mule Thompson in third. As Andrew Hess, he's trying to keep that pace up, but it looks like Hess might not be able to navigate traffic quite as cleanly as his last time by was a 1-minute 16.58. Not the hot laps that he was looking for with those fresh set of tires. Tom Ogle, he's about 0.2 off the pace of Robinson his last time by. Not sure if that's going to be tire wear or maybe lap traffic causing it, or it could be driver attrition. This is absolutely exhausting going this fast for this long at a course that demands constant attention. If you find yourself kind of dozing off there for a second, you can rapidly find yourself in a wall here at Watkins Glen, as there is very little runoff in several sections of the racetrack where you can very quickly find yourself closely acquainted with some Armco barriers, especially coming out of the S's on this little bit of a straightaway. The cars like to get very, very loose and unhappy there as you unload the suspension. The car feels very light and does not put down the mechanical grip that you're really looking for. As Ogle absolutely sending it through the bus stop, using every bit of track availability he has at his disposal, getting all over the curbing here, letting the car really decide, hey, this is where we can put the tires before it's the absolute limit, carrying as much speed as he can down the backstretch, getting a good hard charge. I believe that's going to be Al Turner in front of him, the number 76 machine. Turner's done a great job here tonight. He is currently running 8th on track. 1 lap down from your race leader. It's going to be 7 drivers still on the lead lap here at Watkins Glen. As some drivers really finding their comfort and some drivers unable to keep the tire management underneath them that they would like to. Everybody clicking off laps. Haven't had many incidents in the last 10 or 15 laps. Everybody keeping it clean, pointing in the right direction. Haven't seen many off tracks from any of our competitors. Let's check on Andrew Hess, number 54 machine. He had that very late pit stop coming in at least 4 laps later than most of his competitors. Just clicking him off the number 54 machine, trying to navigate lap traffic. His last time by, he was very quick, a 1 minute, let's call it a 1 minute 16 flat, almost a full second faster than Josh Robinson out front. But with 15 laps left to go, he finds himself about 7.6 seconds back from Steve Thompson. He was about 1.3 seconds a lap faster than Thompson, but with lap traffic, you never know how things are going to go. Does Hess have enough time with 14 laps left in this race to catch up to Thompson and maybe battle for that 3rd place podium spot? Josh Robinson out front, Tom Ogle 2nd, Steve Thompson 3rd, Andrew Hess 4th, and Dwayne MacArthur rounds out our top 5. A lot of the usual suspects up here tonight, and a few little changes. Some guys we usually expect to see up front not having the night they want here at Watkins Glen, as some of the drivers just not as comfortable at road courses as they are with the turning left portions of this series. But luckily for these guys, we do go back to Indianapolis next week for the Metro Ford Cup race. It'll be 100 laps at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway IndyCar Oval. And looking at the rest of the season, not a lot of wild tracks. We're going to, again, Indianapolis next week. We've got Michigan, then Daytona before the Chase starts. At the Chase races, we've got Darlington, Richmond, and Bristol for the first round. And then for the second round of Chase playoffs, we've got Las Vegas, Talladega, and Charlotte. And then we've got the next section, which is down to 8 drivers, where it's going to be Texas, Kansas, Martinsville. And finally, the championship will be decided at Phoenix Raceway with 187 laps. So a lot of more, we don't want to call them regular races with the ovals. We have a mix of good super speedways, some technical tracks such as Darlington and Bristol, some cookie cutters such as Charlotte. And then you got tracks such as Martinsville, Phoenix, you've got Bristol. A lot of unique racetracks that don't quite drive as standardized as the mile-and-a-halfers we've seen in the past before the NASCAR schedule really got so diverse. But for those of these guys that are not quite comfortable on road courses, they're going to have to do so very quickly as we go from 2 scheduled NASCAR races to 7 for the real-life NASCAR series next year. Now, thankfully, it appears the next-gen Cup cars are going to be a little bit better suited for the road course racing compared to the current-gen Cup cars we have, going with that independent suspension compared to that live axle we have on our current car. So it should get a little bit easier for these drivers that aren't quite comfortable. As Hess still cutting through lap traffic. His last time by a 1 minute 16.19 compared to Steve Thompson's 1 minute 16.63. So Hess still whittling away at the gap to that third place spot, but with 12 laps to go and a 6.5 second disadvantage, will he have enough time to get up there and battle for the lead? I'm not entirely sure. Steve Thompson doing a great job in the number 67 machine. That Toyota, it's Toyota up front, 1, 2, and 3 with Robinson, Ogle, and Thompson just clicking off laps, making it happen. Thompson, he's about 10 seconds back from second place Tom Ogle, so I think he's going to be in just tire-saving management at this point. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch up to Ogle in second place, but he's been watching the overlay, talking to his pit coach and crew chiefs and spotters saying, hey, keep an eye out. Hess, the number 54 machine, he's been blistering fast. He's about 1 second faster the last time by as Thompson clicks off a 1 minute 17.24, but let's see what Hess can do as he drops a 1 minute 16.86. So Hess has the pace, but he's got 6.3 seconds to overcome with 11 laps to go. As the laps click off, that's going to be very interesting to see if we can see Hess charge back up in his Chevrolet and try and disrupt the Toyota sweep that could happen if they finish exactly where they sit. Now, Thompson came in on lap 29 compared to Hess on the lap 33. Dwayne MacArthur, Patrick Milligan also coming a little bit late on lap 32. Compared to Thompson and Robinson, currently running third and first, they came in on lap 29 a little bit earlier than the rest of the field. Thompson running that Gary Kipfer logo on the front of his car as the title sponsor, paying respect to his good friend. Always representing the Corvette logos very, very well, as Thompson doing a great job out here today. Not sure if he's normally comfortable at the road courses. We'll have to look further back in the season, but right now he's clicking it off, making it look relatively easy. Now, Andrew Hess, he was actually the winner at Sonoma, our most recent road course, and Dwayne MacArthur got second with Tom Ogle third. Josh Robinson actually got fourth, and Steve Thompson got fifth the last time we found ourselves at a road course. So it looks like some of the drivers getting a little bit more comfortable here at Watkins Glen, getting a little bit faster out there. And let's see what Thompson does this time by your race leader, Josh Robinson. He did a 1:16.3, so being very, very consistent out front. Robinson has a 5-second advantage over Tom Ogle, currently in second place. But we got to keep an eye out on Steve Thompson and Andrew Hess. This has the potential to be the battle at the end. As Thompson clicks off a 1 minute 16.66, Andrew Hess, his rival, in fourth place, he drops a 1 minute 16 flat. So Hess is still finding time, but is he going to have enough to click away at the end? I don't know if he has enough time. We're going to do a little bit of math here up in the broadcast booth. So doing my little bit of broadcast math, which is always scary, it does not appear that Hess will have enough time to whittle away at that 5.5 second disadvantage at their current pace. He would need just a couple more laps. So he's got to hope and pray that Steve Thompson has a little bit more tire fall off or possibly runs into lap traffic to make anything happen. As let's see, Thompson clicks off a 1 minute 19, 116.93, and no, Hess, he does almost the identical lap time to Thompson, so it is not looking good. Tom Ogle still chipping away at the lead of Josh Robinson. He's got a 3.9 second disadvantage to race leader Josh Robinson. He was 0.3 of a lap faster his last time by, but with a 4 second disadvantage. I don't know if there's going to be enough lap times here for anybody to make something happen this late into a run. I gotta say, quite the spread out field here today. As you've got 7 drivers on the lead lap. Josh Robinson has lapped all the way through 8th place on the field, and he is still charging hard with 7 laps to go. Showing no sign of slowing down as he cuts through the S's. He's gonna catch up to Hoskins here going into the bus stop. Hoskins doing a great job out there in 19th place. He's still charging hard. Hoskins is 4 spots down overall from where he started, but most importantly, he is out there and he is surviving Watkins Glen, a feat that is very, very difficult. And my, oh my, look at the lap traffic that Robinson has just caught. He's getting around the rookie in the 110, the number 30 machine as well. That's Greg McDaniel. So he is lapped all the way through 7th place at this point. It will be 6 drivers on the lead lap. It'll be 6 laps to go once he crosses the line. And look at Tom Ogle in the background. Ogle has about 4 lapped cars between him and race leader Josh Robinson. Ogle's going to be charging here hard here through 6 and 7. We're going to pan the camera back to Ogle, watch him navigate this traffic through 6 and 7. Everybody doing a great job allowing Ogle in the bright pink White Claw race car, a very hard car to miss out here on track. As let's see what the lap times do. Ogle was about 0.2 of a second faster than Robinson last time by, but both of these guys having to navigate traffic, trying to get through nice and clean. 6 laps to go, and only 6 drivers on the lead lap here. Robinson with more lap traffic to contend with. I believe that may be John Hastings' number 32 machine. We'll have to take a look here. Yes, that is not. Oh, that's Crisco. That's an easy one to spot. That's Robert Crisco, number 28 machine, the Ford Mustang. Coming out of turn 6, diving into turn 7, so that'll be the next lap car contender that Robinson finds himself having to get around. I think he's going to do it into turn 1 as Crisco's carrying a fair amount of pace. Now what happens here is Robinson does not want to get caught up behind anybody going into the S's. That can really slow down his run, and he knows Tom Ogle is short behind, doing his best to see if he can count on Robinson getting stuck behind traffic more so than Ogle is. But Robinson's going to follow Crisco through the S's down the short straightaway to the bus stop. Crisco's going to yield the line. He's going to drop to the inside line, the right side of the racetrack, to allow Robinson by into the bus stop. How is Ogle going to fare with this lap traffic? Ogle not getting held up yet. Everybody doing their best to make way, win at all possible. It's 5 laps to go. It is still about a 3.9 second gap between Josh Robinson and Tom Ogle. As Ogle charges as hard as he can out of the carousel. He can see Robinson at the end of this short straightaway going into turn 6. He knows the race win could be his. but he's going to try and have to really bank on being able to navigate lap traffic easier than Robinson is. Everyone out there doing their best at this point in the race. Not many off tracks. Everybody doing a fantastic job keeping it very, very clean. I think the only off-track moments we've seen is lap traffic just doing their best to get off of the racing service, allowing these guys by. As Tom Ogle still has Josh Robinson tantalizing, dangling the carrot 4 seconds ahead of him. Four laps to go. Tom Ogle has fallen off the pace just a little bit. He's about 4.5 seconds back from Robinson. Robinson out front, charging hard. Not a whole lot of laps left here in tonight's race. You can see Tom Ogle at the back of the start-finish line straightaway. He can see the baby blue, number 23 of Robinson, just in front of him. That Micro Center-backed Toyota Camry. But I don't think we're going to see anything happen here unless Tom Ogle's able to pull off a miracle or Josh Robinson has the worst luck we've ever seen here for one of the Metro Ford Cup Series races at the Old Bastards Racing League. It's going to be tough to call a hard charger here, as I believe it may go to Michael Everhart in the number 17 machine, currently running 10th on track. He is up 8 spots from where he originally started here today, just barely making the top 10, but well done to him. You've also got John Hastings, Henry Besaw, both up 8 spots. So ample opportunity for several of these drivers to make something happen. We're going to check on Steve Thompson. He still has Andrew Hess about 3.8 seconds behind him. I don't think Hess is going to have enough laps either to catch up to Steve the Mule Thompson, the number 67 machine, who's diving into the carousel as lap traffic parts in front of him. There's Robert Crisco as well. All these guys doing a fantastic job keeping it clean this late into a race. Not many issues as far as Watkins Glen goes. Everybody put in the seat time throughout the week to get their cars dialed in, get their driver abilities dialed in, as it'll be 2 laps left to go now. Robinson will take the white flag his next time by. Robinson out front, 6 drivers still on the lead lap. It's Robinson, Ogle, Thompson, Hess, MacArthur, our top 5. Everybody doing a fantastic job out here today, keeping it nice and clean. All these drivers trying to score some much-needed points before we get ready for our playoff season. And that is going to be quite exciting. That's going to be everybody kind of battling super, super hard, scoring some last-ditch points whenever they can to make it into the final round of the playoffs. White flag is out. Josh Robinson takes it. He's on his final lap. Tom Ogle in the background, 3.6 seconds back. But right now it has been Robinson, the man of the hour, just clicking him off in the number 23 machine. Robinson putting on a commanding feat. I mean, Tom Ogle, all of these guys in the top 3 have put on a fantastic show here tonight. Everybody keeping it very clean, just clicking them off. Not that many issues despite the busy traffic. Everybody able to cut through nice and easy. Robinson put on a clinic. Tom Ogle found some speed out of nowhere. He's down to 2.5 seconds. Where did Ogle find all that speed? But it is not going to be enough for Ogle here at the end, as he's going to finish about 2.4 seconds behind Josh Robinson. But man, where did Ogle find all that lap time from? Or did Robinson just kind of take it easy there, as Robinson would have clicked off a 1 minute 18 compared to Ogle's 1 minute 16. But a great job from all these competitors for a very smooth race. Everybody having a great time. And we're going to try and get these drivers up to the waiting room for their post-race interviews. Josh Robinson ended up bringing around the track for the final time to celebrate with his friends Tom Ogle, Steve Thompson. They're going to take a beautiful podium picture. They're going to get nice and formed up. Always slightly out of camera. As I guess Josh Robinson, maybe that's why he's so fast. Maybe his throttle's just stuck all the time. And here comes Steve Thompson in a frame number 67 machine. Our 3 podium contenders tonight. What a great job from all of these guys. And what a fantastic photo here for the Watkins Glen race by the Metro Ford Cup Series, brought to you every week on the Old Bastards Racing League. Always a great time with these guys on and off the track. Just a bunch of goofy guys that enjoy racing, as that's Tom Ogle that lets all the smoke out of the number 11 White Claw machine. He paid for the entire engine. He's going to use the entire engine. As Josh Robinson's going to burn it down here at Watkins Glen. Maybe. Not a lot of room for burnouts here at the Glen. Normally turn 1's kind of the place you want to let it rip, but Robinson's going to do his best with what he has, and he's going to send it sliding around the number 23 machine, celebrating in style. Well done to the number 23. Toyota gets the sweep. 1, 2, 3 once more, extending their lead for the Manufacturers Cup. And a lot of great racing from all of these competitors. We're going to pull up the official results and try and get some drivers in here for post-race interviews. We've got Tom Ogle. We're still waiting on Steve Thompson as well as Josh Robinson. We've got Steve Thompson. Let's grab Steve in the number 67, rounding out the bottom step of the sweep for Toyota. But you guys have got to be happy all around. What an exciting race from start to finish, and a little bit cleaner than I think we would have expected tonight.
Yeah, these guys have been running here all week pretty clean, truck series and this series here. But I had nothing for Ogle or Robinson. They were way faster than everybody else. So congratulations to those guys for first and second.
Now, Steve, always a great time having you up here, number 67. Now, I've got to ask, we haven't asked you in a podium interview yet. How did you get the nickname The Mule here for OBRL?
I think it's because of my my sponsor, Ride TV. They've been a sponsor of mine for, I don't know, about 6 years. And anyways, there was a TV show that was on that channel about donkeys, and so that's how I got the name The Mule. Plus, I don't ever forget anything that when somebody crashes me, like Ogle and Schrader, and you don't want to hear me go down the list. I got stick-it notes all over the place too on those guys.
The world famous sticky notes. Now, Steve, I think it's elephants that don't ever forget, but we're going to let you have that one because I'm not a self-proclaimed donkey expert. But great job out there as always, my friend. How was tire wear at the end of those runs? We saw you coming on lap 29. Were you worried at all, Andrew Hess, who came in on lap 33, was going to have something for you there at the end?
No, I was just cruising. I knew when Tom came out in front of me. I mean, I had nothing for those guys, so I was just going to try to stay in third. I was just trying to bide my time and be careful. I had some bad passes and stuff. And by the way, mules have a way better memory than elephants.
Well,
they never forget anything.
Well, you've heard it here from the self-proclaimed sticky note expert, Steve Thompson. Steve, great time as always, man, talking to you. Before I let you go and sign off and maybe deal with your administrative work that always follows these bad boys, who would you like to give a shout-out to that may be supporting you out there at home?
Give a shout-out to my wife, Wendy, and my mom. She's always watching these broadcasts. And also to my sponsor, Ride TV. I hope I get to continue with them. They just sold out to Disney, so I'm hoping it'll continue. A friend of mine, Craig Morris, was CEO of the company, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. So anyways, I hope to retain this ride, and a shout out to my good friend, Gary Corbett. Still miss you, man. And see you sometime.
All right, great job as always, Steve. Hope to see you up in the booth more often, my friend.
Thank you. I hope so.
That was third place Steve Thompson bringing it home in his Toyota. Now we've got Tom Ogle in the bright pink White Claw, number 11 Toyota. Tom, how'd it go out there tonight?
Really good. I had one off track, and that really, I could never make up that time. But it's road racing. It's kind of not my thing. So anytime I can just have a good run, I'm real happy.
Yeah, it looked like a great show. We didn't see that many big crashes, really not that many off tracks from all of our competitors. You guys put on a great show. Do you think running the same track all week with different OBRL series really helps you guys out before you come to the Sunday morning premiere series?
Anytime you get more seat time, track time at a track, it helps. But the cars kind of were so different, like the trucks and the Xfinity, your braking points, you shift what gear you run. They're different like the whole time. So it takes a little bit to adjust, but I was kind of better in the other two cars. I think I had a shot to win both those other two, but had problems. But I'm definitely real happy
Now,
with
Tom,
this run.
speaking of kind of adapting between different situations, scenarios, track conditions, how does the car feel between your lap 1, 2, once you finally got some heat in the tires by lap 30, where you're just kind of on the ragged edge? Is it really loose in these Cup cars, or how does it drive here at Watkins Glen that late in a run?
So it's loose up off the corner, like coming out of one or through coming off the carousel. It's always loose. It was loose the whole run. You more lose like front grip, up through the S's, and then turn one, it's just always loose. And what I started doing was slowing down and staying all the way on the right of the white rumble strips there off of one, because it just seems like that really upsets the car coming off of there. But I just think you lose more front grip because you never have rear grip.
Yeah, at least it's consistent all the way around. Well, great job as always, Tom. Always a pleasure having you up in the booth. Hope to see you do well at Indy next week, which should be exciting for everybody, kind of the square oval. Before we let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to that may be supporting you behind the scenes?
Oh, just my teammates, Josh and Andrew. We kind of can bounce ideas and lines and shift points off of each other. And Ogle's Auto Sales, my car lot, and just you for broadcasting it, doing a great job, and Steve and the other admins for putting the league on.
Well, always a pleasure, my friend. Hope to see you up here more often.
All right, thank you.
All right, up next, you've got Josh Robinson, the number 23 machine, bringing it home. Josh, great job as always, my friend. It seemed like you were very, very comfortable out here at Watkins Glen today.
Yeah, I think the 11 had a little bit of a mishap early on, and that gave me about a 3 to 4 second lead. So I had pressure from him, but I didn't have as much pressure as if he hadn't made that mistake.
Well, that's all it's about. When you have so many talented drivers out here, especially all of you guys really in the top 5, top 10, everybody runs so close week in and week out. It seems like it's always a game of who can make the least mistakes. Do you think that's rectified by more practice laps, or what is it that causes you guys to be so consistent week in and week out?
A lot of practice laps, a lot of running really close to each other and getting not only comfortable with your own driving, but comfortable running with everyone else. And it's just a lot of practice, especially on these road courses, and you just don't get better at them until you run them.
And now, Josh, my apologies. I was writing down notes here. Josh, I know this season we didn't have a whole lot of road series, as the real life NASCAR is going to be throwing in a lot more road courses next season. You think that's going to be reflected here at OBRL?
Hard to say. I obviously after winning today, I'd like to see some more of them, but we also want to make sure that we're getting some big car counts. So if bringing on some more circle tracks instead of road courses get higher car counts, then we'll bring them on.
Well, great job as always, man. Great to see you out here. I know you're looking good going into the Chase Championship in just a few short weeks. How do you think Indianapolis is going to handle for you? It's not quite an oval that we're used to. It's almost more of a square. So how does that drive from your point of view?
It drives almost kind of like Pocono for me, but it is definitely a different beast. A little easier than a road course, but it's not the ovals that we're used to.
Well, great job as always, man. It's always a good time seeing you up here in the podium booth, extending that points lead just a little bit. Before we let you sign off, if there's any friends, family, sponsors you'd like to give a word to, the floor is wide open for you, my friend.
Just the guys we race with all the time, Tom, Steve, Dwayne, and them. Always good running up front. Patrick for sponsoring the league, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, always a pleasure. Hope to see you up here more often, or I guess you're up here a lot, but hopefully you keep up that streak, my friend.
I appreciate it, James. Thanks for putting it on.
No worries, Josh. Take care. And that is going to do it here for the Metro Ford Cup Series at the Old Bastards Racing League. A whole lot of fun from all of our competitors. A lot of good green racing. As always, thank you to emetroford.com for putting this on. OldBastardsRacing.com. If you want to get in on the action, check them out. They've got multiple races throughout the week. A lot of good times among good racers. And on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, as we go to the Indy Oval, getting ready for